So a few days ago, I posted a blog to popmatters.com where I blog about pop culture called Happy Blackface Day in Germany. That's Epiphany, January 6th. Those of you who are Christian would probably know more about Epiphany than I do. But in the blog, I talked about that on January 6th is the day that you would see a black child in Germany dressed like this, running around from house to house and singing a song and collecting money, usually for a charity. And I sort of sarcastically said and poked fun at Germany's multiculturalism, that this would be the only day of the year where you would actually see a black child who would be welcomed when they approach a normal German home, as opposed to looked at suspiciously. Now, I'm not saying that Germans are racist and all this stuff, but what um, I am saying that multiculturalism has to be taught, and we can't assume that just because we walk around with the chic and modern idea that the chic and modern idea of multiculturalism. No, we have to actually teach it. And I find it interesting that in Germany, and it's not just Germany, I'm not just picking on Germany. You'll see that I have videos about India and most critically about my own land, United States of America, and multiculturalism. But here in Germany, the most normal images that you see of a black person um, are this. The kids just left the house a few minutes ago, not even a minute ago. And I wanted to show you this because they're collecting for, now you look at this, this is what you see. And I'm happy that people care enough to do something outside of themselves. I'm happy that that these kids, these are three little boys, and walking around with their father. And I mean, there was a blizzard last night, and there's like a half a foot of snow, but they're still doing this. And it's on Saturday. It's the first Saturday that they've had to do this, and I'm glad that they're doing it. They're collecting this money, and they're going to send it to this charity. But on the other side, this is the dominant idea that people have of black people. And unless you teach people another idea, this is what they'll have. So they have this and they have sports. And so I always laugh because, I'll go into some public place here in Germany or anywhere in the world. People are laughing because you see this in India too. Now they'll be playing black music, but then they'll look at me like I'm short, like they've never seen a black person before. But they'll listen to black music all day long. And it's one thing to have never seen a black person before, but it's another thing to be totally stunned and in awe. And the staring and gawking in India, you see it here in Germany too, except the Germans are more, how would you say, discreet. Whereas in India, the Indian public is just more upfront. Like, I'm gonna stare at you. In Germany, like, there was a girl on the bus the other day. She looked like for 45-minute bus ride, she was doing like this. And this is the common thing. And in America, we think that we're so advanced when it comes to multiculturalism. But then you look at the workplace discrimination. You look at the fact that we're socially segregated in our homes, and of course on Sunday morning, and not that people have to worship together, but people don't even try to come together for interfaith dialogues, something that we have in our city. People very much keep to their own, and that's not building multiculturalism. That's not building a way of the future. And to say that, well, we have more interracial marriages and we have this and that and the other, that's one thing. That's one thing. But the fact is, we still box each other into little tiny boxes. So you'll see, in the Aachen newspaper, you'll see the only black person who doesn't look like this, or doesn't, isn't some. They have all these articles about, um, the illegal immigration and blah blah blah. And when I arrived here on December 19th in Germany, we were in the Frankfurt airport, and it's inevitably happens. Like, people look at me and my partner, and they always try and figure us out. As soon as he was standing away from me, and it wasn't clear that we were together, and so they didn't know how to read me. Guess who showed up? The border patrol. They're like, "Can I see your ID?" And I was like, okay, because in Germany you have to have your ID all the time, and I think that's kind of that's it's kind of sick and racist because it makes you a target. Because if you're a foreigner in Germany, you especially have to have your ID. So if I wanted to steal someone's passport, all I have to do is go to a public place, find foreigners, you can see them, here we are, and they're going to have a passport with them. And that actually happened to me in Dusseldorf. And you have to have a passport with you here in Germany because even as a foreigner, and I am a resident of Germany legally through my life partnership, there is no ID that they will give you until you have a permanent residency. So for years and years and years, you literally have to just carry around this passport, and that is so demeaning. It's as if to say that you have to be ready to go at any any moment in time. Now, I know that a lot of people here in Germany will talk about the practicality of it all and blah blah blah, but at the end of the day, it's impractical. It's it's impractical to sort of create this sort of difference where you don't just have normal people, where the only time that you see difference is like this. And there are these billboards all around every German city about AIDS, AIDS, healed for AIDS, and so you have these decaying, decrepit, looking black people with AIDS. And that charity mentality, that's a whole nother blog. That let me help you, let me do something for you, let me show you what you need to do because I'm all powerful and I know what's best for you. And that's the American charity, and you see it over and over and over and over again. And it allows people to think that they're liberal, and to think that they're liberal minded, and to go around the world preaching and teaching, preaching and teaching, preach, 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 preach. I have a video on YouTube about the American school in New Delhi, and I mean, the middle school principal there is like a classic, you know, um, white liberal snob. They think they're so liberal, but you ask any of the black children in the middle school, and you talk to their parents, and you're like, oh, you mean they have these kind of ideas about people? No. So just because we're all here, don't make us all free. Please talk to your children, listen to your children, expose your children to difference, to different way of doing things, a different way of seeing things, because we do live in a diverse and plural world. And the fact that you are listening to this right now, and you are sitting somewhere that is far away from Aix-la-Chapelle in Germany, the fact that in 2 days I'm going to New Delhi, if I wanted to, I could fly to anywhere in the world. And you can do that right now through books, through the internet. You can actually communicate with people. We are not in the old world where we used to be. Things have changed. And unless you keep up with the pace, you're antiquated. I'm so 2010, but you're so 2000 and late.